Have you ever wondered what the stories behind the spotlight of gospel music legends are like? These artists have conquered millions of hearts with their powerful and emotional voices, but their journeys also contain many interesting things that are rarely mentioned. In today's video, we will explore the influential faces of gospel music and look back at special moments and little-known stories in their lives and careers. If you love this content, don't forget to leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe to the channel to support. We hope you have a great time enjoying this inspiring journey with us. Sylvester began singing at the Love Center, where everyone recognized him as a special voice. But behind the church windows, he had to hide his identity because of constant scrutiny. This led to Sylvester living a double life, a respected singer by day and a freelance artist in San Francisco's underground scene by night. When he chose to live his true self, his career exploded. "You Make Me Feel Mighty Real" quickly became a global phenomenon and made him a prominent face with a bold style. Despite the backlash and ostracism from the very place that once supported him, Sylvester continued to stand strong, becoming a symbol of confidence and courage. His forbidden love experiences only deepened his understanding of the contradictions in the environment he grew up in. Instead of succumbing to despair, he turned his pain into art. Even as his health declined in his later years, Sylvester remained steadfast. His story reminds us that authenticity can create lasting strength and inspiration. Rosetta Tharpe was not only a famous gospel singer, but also a pioneer, contributing to the first sounds of rock and roll and inspiring legends such as Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, and Little Richard. On stage, she shone with her powerful voice and captivating performance style, captivating the audience. However, behind the lights, Rosetta lived with a secret love for Marie. Knight, her companion and co-songstress. Society at that time did not allow them to openly love each other, and to maintain her career, Rosetta was forced to marry her manager, burying that legendary relationship. Despite sacrificing love, experiencing loneliness, financial pressure, and illness, she still persevered and devoted herself to music. When Rosetta passed away, the world remembered her as a great gospel icon. But few knew her life story, full of courage, sacrifice, and perseverance. Rosetta's life reminds us that being true to ourselves, remaining courageous, and pursuing our passions can leave a lasting legacy, even if it sometimes comes at great personal cost. Enz Andrews was one of the greatest gospel singers, with her soaring, soulful voice on songs like "Mary, Don't You Weep," moving congregations and shaping the sound of modern gospel music. Dubbed the High Priestess, she toured across America in the 1950s and 1960s, selling out churches and inspiring legends like Aretha Franklin and Shirley Caesar. On stage, Enz was a symbol of holiness, power, and spiritual authority, but her personal life was different. Privately, Enz was attracted to women, and her most enduring relationship was with Clarice, a music producer from Georgia. They met secretly, exchanged letters, and kept their love true while social and religious prejudices lurked. To protect her public image, Enz married a man, but remained true to the most important relationship of her life. Despite the interrogation and humiliation, she remained steadfast in her pursuit of music and her passion. When she passed away in 2012, the world remembered Enz as a gospel legend, but few knew the silent battles she fought. Her story reminds us that living authentically and courageously, even in the face of adversity, is a person's true legacy. Marie Knight was one of the most captivating and charismatic gospel singers of the Golden Age, rising to prominence with her dazzling duets with Sister Rosetta Tharpe. The duo rocked churches, blurring the lines between worship and art, ushering in a new era of gospel music. But behind the spotlight lay a deep, secret love that society at the time disapproved of. They shared joys, everyday moments, and quiet understanding, from sleeping on tour buses to practicing together. As rumors spread, church leaders began to intervene, and they were eventually forced to stop touring together. Marie married a man to allay suspicions, but her heart remained with Rosetta. Her solo career never regained its former luster, and she lived a modest life for the rest of her life, quietly guarding her privacy. When Rosetta died, Marie stayed with her late partner's guitar, remembering a love that could not be made public. Marie's story reminds us that many gospel legends sacrificed their personal happiness so that the world could continue to celebrate their music, and that the courage to be true to one's feelings is the most precious legacy. Clara Ward was a bold and glamorous icon of gospel music, leading a popular group of singers and revolutionizing the stage in the 1940s and 1950s with her powerful voice and commanding presence. She toured the world, appeared on television, and became the first gospel artist to perform in Las Vegas, earning millions the title of Queen of Gospel Music. But behind the spotlight, Clara lived with deep secrets. Her first known love with Evelyn, a young singer, had to be kept secret, and when it was discovered Evelyn was fired, Clara realized that an open relationship would mean losing everything: career, reputation, and family. She was forced to maintain a double life, openly with men, but secretly pursuing women. Her pain deepened when her longtime partner died, and Clara's health declined. In 1972, she boldly declared on television that God loves us all, even if we are not the same, but was immediately rebuked and silenced. Clara died in 1973 at the age of 48, leaving behind her voice, but her real-life story remains shrouded in secrecy. Clara's life reminds us that sometimes courage and honesty are the most valuable legacies beyond the spotlight. Alex Bradford was a powerful force in gospel music, a singer-songwriter, choir master, and energetic performer who redefined the genre. In the 1950s and 1960s, he led the Bradford Singers and his own Alex Bradford Show, delivering hits like Too Close to Heaven and He'll Understand and Say Well Done. Bradford's commanding stage presence inspired Richard Sam Cooke, and Ray Charles and Mahalia Jackson called him the modern gospel teacher behind the spotlight. However, Bradford lived in fear and concealment. As a gay black man in a conservative church, he maintained a secret relationship with pianist Leonard, but when Leonard was discovered, he was forced to accept a morals agreement to protect his career. Bradford lived as a shadow, projecting an image of integrity, while his true love remained hidden. Yet his music changed the world, inspiring Broadway and bringing gospel music to R&B and soul. When he died in 1978, Bradford's musical legacy was celebrated, but his quiet life story and courage remained, largely overlooked. Wilmer Little Axe Broadnax was one of the most powerful and enigmatic voices in gospel history. With his powerful tenor, he sang with the Memphis Quartet and the Fairfield Four, helping to define the sound of gospel quartets in the 1940s and 1950s. Audiences called his voice angelic, and his peers revered him as a legend. But few knew that Wilmer was born a woman and lived his entire life as a man in a deeply conservative musical community. In a time when transgenderism was not recognized, being discovered could have resulted in ostracism or even death. Wilmer built a life of strict discipline, keeping himself distant and hidden and maintaining secret relationships with women. His most intense love was with Darlene Jenkins, but when the truth was discovered, he was removed from performances and the relationship ended. Wilmer continued to sing, hide, and struggle to survive until his death in 1992. Only after his death did the world see Little Axe for who he truly was, a brave pioneer who lived his truth. In an age where truth could be punished with death, his legacy of music and courage lives on. James Cleveland, known as the King of Gospel, was more than a singer. He was a visionary who shaped modern gospel music. In 1967, he founded the Gospel Music Workshop of America, GMWA, mentoring icons like Aretha Franklin, the Winans, and Kirk Franklin, and transforming church music into a global phenomenon. His voice reached national television, and his 4 Grammy Awards attest to his lasting influence. Yet behind the spotlight, Cleveland faced deep personal struggles. He was gay and had to navigate an extremely conservative industry, forming meaningful relationships with male choir members while keeping his love life hidden to protect his reputation. Personal losses, including the illness of a longtime partner, affected him profoundly. Cleveland passed away in 1991 from AIDS-related complications, with the church concealing much of his story. His life reminds us that even those who change the world through music may face painful battles to live authentically in an unaccepting environment. Edwin Hawkins was more than a gospel star. He was a global trailblazer. In 1969, his recording of "Oh Happy Day" became the first gospel song to cross into the mainstream, selling over 7 million copies, earning a Grammy, and opening doors for gospel music worldwide. His talent inspired icons like Whitney Houston and Kirk Franklin. Yet behind the fame, Edwin lived with a secret: he was gay. In a conservative religious world, he had to conceal his love. In the 1970s, he shared a deep and creative relationship with Marcus, a young pianist, but pressure from churches and fans forced them apart. Edwin stayed private, withdrew from interviews, and let his music speak. Quietly, he supported HIV/AIDS causes and helped LGBTQ gospel artists navigate their careers. When he died in 2018, the world celebrated his achievements, but his greatest love remained largely unknown. His life reminds us that devotion and courage sometimes require living with solitude and secrecy. Carl Bean was born to be a gospel star, with a powerful voice and deep faith. In 1963, while on tour, he held hands with another man in a hotel room, leading to his immediate expulsion. The church loved his voice, but did not accept him for who he was. Years later, Carl found true love with Leon, a jazz musician, in a secret relationship that was almost like marriage, but lived in the shadows to avoid judgment. In 1977, Carl made a bold move. He abandoned church music and recorded the openly gay hymn, "I Was Born This Way." The song became an underground hit and reached the Billboard Top 40, but he paid the price of being shunned by his family, church, and the media. Undeterred, Carl became an activist, working with civil rights leaders and the Motown community. In 1982, he founded Unity Fellowship Church, the first openly black church supporting the LGBTQ community, saving and supporting thousands of lives. Through trials and rejection, Carl lived fully as himself until his death in 2021, proving that it is possible to love God and yourself without regret. Jette Flunder was a perfect model of the gospel, with a smooth voice and excellent preaching ability, attracting thousands of believers across the United States. Born into a devout family, she began singing at a young age and quickly asserted her position in the gospel community in the 1970s. By the age of 20, she was preaching at major conferences, hailed as a symbol of holiness and spiritual strength. Besides, the halo was a secret. She loved women. In an environment that considered it taboo, she prayed and tried to heal herself. Her life changed in 1980 when she met Shirley Miller, living and loving together in secret. In 1983, a photo of them holding hands went viral, causing her to be isolated and criticized. Instead of running away, in 1984 she publicly declared, "I love someone of the same sex, and I am not ashamed." In 1991, she and Shirley founded the United Church of Christ, City of Refuge in Oakland, the first black church to support the LGBTQ community. Today, the church serves thousands, provides HIV/AIDS support, and provides spiritual healing. Ayettah Flunder became a progressive religious leader, White House advisor under Obama, and demonstrated that faith and authenticity can coexist. Donnie McClurkin is one of the leading names in gospel music, with songs like Stand We Fall Down and Speak to My Heart, selling over 10 million albums and performing worldwide. He is also a pastor admired by millions of believers, representing holiness, discipline, and victory over sin. Behind the spotlight lies a deep inner struggle. Donnie is gay, living in a strict gospel environment where any difference is considered a sin. He secretly maintained romantic relationships with men, while also participating in exorcism and masculinity restoration programs in an attempt to change himself. His career has been on the rise, but he has remained single and cut off relationships, maintaining a perfect public image. In 2002, Donnie announced on television that he was gay, but God saved me, becoming an icon of the ex-gay movement. In private, however, he admitted to still being attracted to men and continued to struggle with himself. Donnie McClurkin never married, lived between praise and pain, never free to be his true self. Vicki Yohe is one of the most prominent female vocalists in contemporary gospel music, beloved for her soulful voice and powerful worship. She rose to fame with the song Who You Are, performing in major theaters and appearing on TBN, sharing the stage with many big names. To the public, she is a symbol of purity, devotion, and faithfulness to the faith. However, Vicki's private life was completely different. She maintained a secret same-sex relationship for many years, having to hide her love from the pressure of the church. To protect her career, she married a male singer, creating a perfect public image. But that marriage was just a cover. Her true love continued through secret meetings during her tours. In 2002, Vicki disappeared for a few days with her ex-lover, causing a stir in public opinion. Churches began canceling her performances, and she slowly withdrew from major platforms, silently enduring the pressure. In her diary, Vicki wrote, "I am allowed to love God, but not allowed to love a woman." This statement reflects the pain of many LGBTQ gospel artists. Their talent is recognized, but their true identity is constantly denied. Anthony Williams, known as Tonix and later as B. Slade, emerged in the late 1990s and quickly became a gospel phenomenon thanks to his innovative style, bold performances, and raw emotion. His hit single Make Me Over became a gospel anthem, selling over 1 million copies and winning 6 major awards. Artists such as Kirk Franklin and Fred Hammond hailed him as the future of the genre. Anthony's private life, however, was quite different. Being gay, he lived in a gospel environment filled with pressure and prejudice. On stage, he preached holiness and anti-gay, but off stage, he secretly dated male musicians and choir members and secretly wrote love letters. In 2005, a leaked photo caused churches to cancel performances, radio stations to ban him, and he faced threats from the community. In 2010, Anthony came out on television and paid the price. He was banned from award shows, lost relationships with pastors, and millions of dollars in revenue. He later reinvented his career as Slade, performing with Janet Jackson, writing for secular artists and earning Grammy nominations outside of the gospel genre. Anthony's story proves that being true to yourself can be painful at times, but it unlocks true freedom and creativity. Albertina Walker, known as the Queen of Gospel, is an important figure in the history of modern church music. In 1951, she founded the all-female Caravans, paving the way for legends such as Shirley Caesar, A.S. Andrews, and Dorothy Norwood. Her voice was both powerful and sweet, conquering both presidents and global audiences. Her Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award is a testament to her timeless influence. Despite her illustrious career, Albertina had a deep love that had to be kept secret from her colleague A.S. Andrews in the touring group. They shared private moments on the bus during prayers or late-night conversations, but always lived in fear of being discovered. When A.S. Andrews married a man to protect her image, Albertina silently endured the pain, continuing to devote herself to music and the church. Without coming out, she championed and paved the way for other LGBTQ artists, helping them perform and shelter them in the gospel industry. Although she never married or had children, Albertina lived her love in silence, proving that in gospel music, sacrifice and love can exist quietly, but still be strong. She leaves a legacy of loyalty, love, and protection for the next generation of artists. Kevin Terry, frontman of Kevin Terry and Predestined, was once considered a rising star of modern gospel music. His voice and stage presence attracted thousands and earned him invitations to major conferences, becoming a role model for a new generation. However, behind the spotlight was a private life. From 2007 to 2010, Kevin secretly dated male artists and tour assistants, living two separate lives, public on stage, private and intimate off the stage. To cover up, he married a woman in 2011, but the marriage was just a cover and did not bring true happiness. Tragedy struck in 2014 when a private video was leaked, causing the gospel community to turn its back on him. Concerts were canceled, churches disowned him, and friends gradually withdrew. Kevin went from being a respected leader to being criticized not for his sins, but for being himself. Kevin Terry's story mirrors the tragedy that many LGBTQ artists in gospel face. Their talent is celebrated, but they are rejected. It is a testament to the fact that being true to yourself in a strict environment can sometimes come at a high cost, even when you have done absolutely nothing wrong. Lazarus Lynch was a mesmerizing tenor of Harlem gospel music, celebrated for his faith and talent. He realized as a teenager that he was gay, but in the eyes of the church it was a sin. At 15, Lazarus was discovered to have feelings for a young man. At gospel camp, had to pray for hours to exorcise him, and was banned from performing. From then on, he lived a double life, singing hymns by day and Zari by night, an underground artist performing in New York clubs. He kept a secret for 5 years with Malik, a homeless dancer, but the love was always hidden. When Lazarus' father died, Malik was banned from attending the funeral, leaving Lazarus heartbroken. In 2020, he appeared at a performance in Brooklyn in glittering costumes, combining gospel and authentic music, openly saying, "I am gay and God knows who I am." People were initially stunned, but then cheered, and many exclaimed, "Me too." Lazarus Lynch is proof that faith and identity are not mutually exclusive. He is being true to himself, breaking the old boundaries of gospel music and paving the way for LGBTQ artists to express themselves. Thank you for watching today's story. If you find the video meaningful, please like, share it with others, and subscribe to our channel to continue supporting us. Each support helps us tell more true stories, inspire and connect the community. Let's spread the message of courage, faith, and being true to yourself.